The Earth has been around for a long time, and we're constantly making new, or old, discoveries that have been lost or forgotten over the years. Ancient wolf. Last summer, a mammoth tusk hunter exploring the shores of the Tyak River in Siberia's Yakutia region unearthed the fully intact head of a prehistoric wolf. Preserved by the region's permafrost, or permanently frozen ground, for some 32,000 years, the specimen is the first partial carcass of an adult Pleistocene steppe wolf, an extinct lineage distinct from modern wolves, ever found. The discovery, first reported by the Siberian Times, is poised to help researchers better understand how steppe wolves compared with their contemporary counterparts, as well as why the species eventually died out. As Marissa Iadi writes for The Washington Post, the wolf in question was fully grown, likely aged 2 to 4 years old, at the time of its death. Although photographs of the severed head, still boasting clumps of fur, fangs, and a well-preserved snout, place its size at 15.7 inches long, the modern gray wolf's head, in comparison, measures 9.1 to 11 inches. Love Dallin, an evolutionary geneticist at the Swedish Museum of Natural History who was filming a documentary in Siberia when the tusk hunter arrived on the scene with the head in tow, says that media reports touting the find as a giant wolf are inaccurate. David Stanton, a researcher at the Swedish Museum of Natural History, and his colleagues are hopeful that they can extract viable DNA and use it to sequence the wolf's genome. This work is expected to last at least another year. For now, it remains unclear exactly how the wolf's head became separated from the rest of its body. Dragonstone. A large, scaly object resembling a giant egg was found in an Arkansas field, leading to an ongoing social media debate over what it might be, and if it was once alive. Photos of the find were posted Monday by the Arkansas History Unearthed Facebook group, with more than 18,000 members, showing it was oval-shaped, more than 2 feet long, and seemingly reptilian in origin. Several people suggested it is a prized geological formation known as a siderite septarian nodule, which is correct. It could also be ancient. The nodules typically form in muddy sediment. When soils dry out over years and develop desiccation cracks, those cracks later fill in with secondary minerals like calcite. USB seal. Scientists in New Zealand say they have found a USB stick containing holiday photos inside a frozen slab of seal poo. The scat, valuable for studying the health of leopard seals, had been stored in a freezer for a year before it was thawed out for analysis, researchers said. The stick was in good condition, considering where it had come from, and the researchers let it dry out for a few weeks. The sample of scat containing the memory stick was collected in November 2017 at Invercargill's Aretti Beach. Somehow, it seems the seal ended up eating the drive, perhaps intrigued by the smell. Alternatively, a seabird might have picked the drive up out of curiosity before being eaten by the seal. River cubes. An eminent Sanskrit teacher based in India has shed more light on the haul of mysterious lead cubes that were found in the Coventry River. Dr. Vijay Rajapadhyay revealed that the inscribed objects are mystical numerological diagrams used to channel cosmic power and keep the forces of a destructive planet at bay. Mr. Rajapadhyay responded after a magnet fisherman out with his 2 sons found 60 of the magic squares in the river which he was able to pick up with his hands in shallow water. Will Reed, from Phenom, later learned the objects were made of lead and showed mystical inscriptions in a grid on each face. The riddle of how the cubes, embellished in Sanskrit, the ancient liturgical language of Hinduism, ended up on a riverbed in the south of the city has captured the imaginations of people in the UK and India. Mr. Rajapadhyay explained that the cubes were used to protect worshippers from the planet. Ancient iPhone. Archaeologists were stunned to discover an iPhone buried with the body of a woman, in a grave that they believe to be over 2,000 years old. The burial site is located in the Russian Republic of Tuva and is known as the Russian Atlantis. For most of the year, the area remains underwater, draining only in May and June, when researchers get the opportunity to study the area. They have named the woman Natasha and the black rectangular object which is decorated with Chinese wushu coins as an iPhone. The object is a rather large belt buckle, and the coins which decorate it are believed to have been minted around 2137 years ago. The area is of particular interest to archaeologists, who have previously discovered graves dating back to the era of Genghis Khan. Ringfish. In one of the more bizarre fishing stories to surface, a fisherman reeled in a steelhead with a wedding ring attached to its tail, leaving a group of anglers fishing in a tournament on Lake Michigan on Friday scratching their heads. The answer didn't take long to emerge. The Chicago Sun-Times reported Monday that Captain Jason Rose used a zip tie to attach his wedding band to a steelhead he caught and released on May 4 across the lake near the port of Whitehall, Michigan. Rose had been married for nearly a decade when he and his spouse decided to go their separate ways. Rose said that his spouse always went against his passion for fishing, so 4 years after their divorce, "I got rid of the ring the best way he knew how." To symbolize the end of those unpleasant times, and to celebrate his newfound freedom, he tied his ring to a fish and set it free in Lake Michigan. The steelhead and ring re-emerged more than 7 weeks later when Joe Peener caught the fish on Nelligan's boat Gray Lion 2 while they and 2 others fished the Pass the Passion tournament by Salmon Unlimited of Illinois. The wedding band is silver with 1 diamond in it and the inscription, SDH Steel. Witchcrafts. In the ancient Roman city of Pompeii, archaeologists digging in the Garden House recently uncovered the hinges of a wooden box, long since rotted away. But the contents of the box were still there, preserved in the ash that showered Pompeii in 79 AD after nearby Mount Vesuvius erupted, creating an unprecedented time capsule of life 2,000 years ago. The treasure trove emerged from Regio V, an area of the city that has been under recent excavation. In total, archaeologists found around 100 little objects, including buttons made of bone, carved scarab beetles, miniature penises, crystals, tiny skulls, and little dolls. It's believed the objects may be part of a sorcerer's toolkit, used for fortune telling and to bring good luck. They are objects of everyday life in the female world and are extraordinary because they tell micro-stories, biographies of the inhabitants of the city who tried to escape the eruption. Since there were no gold or precious objects in the trove, which wealthy citizens of Pompeii liked to flaunt, the cache of charms was likely not owned by the mistress of the house or a member of the family. Whoever owned the box may still be in the house. Archaeologists have found the remains of several people in the luxury villa. The mystery of the monolith. Into the fiery, plague-ridden nightmarescape of 2020, like a gift from some benevolent higher being, has come a source of true wonder and delight, the wandering monoliths of Utah, Romania, California, and New Mexico. The monoliths are long vertical slabs of metal, each 10 to 12 feet tall. They appear with no warning and disappear just as quickly. First, one in the Utah desert, which emerged on November 18 and vanished on November 27. Second, one outside the Romanian city of Piatra Neamț, which appeared on November 27 and disappeared on December 2. Third, one at the top of Pine Mountain in Atascadero, California, which appeared on December 2, was taken down on December 3 and reappeared on December 4. And fourth, one in Albuquerque, New Mexico, which appeared on December 7 and was taken down the same day. They look like alien artifacts. In part, that's because they are heavily reminiscent of the monoliths of Stanley Kubrick's sci-fi classic 2001, A Space Odyssey, where vast black monoliths are deposited by aliens to guide human beings from one stage of evolution to the next. Kubrick or no Kubrick, all 4 of these real-life monoliths are eerie, solitary objects. No one knows whether another will suddenly appear, or whether it, too, will vanish into the night. So what the heck are they? I guess that some alien, cheeky and terrible teenagers left home with their parents' UFO and started planting metal monoliths around the world. There are a lot of theories about the monoliths. Here are the big ones. They don't seem to be coming from the same source. It now seems apparent that the Utah monolith was the work of one person, and the monoliths that have followed are copycats from people like Travis Kenny, following in its example. Another theory suggests that the monoliths are an anonymous art installation, with the Utah monolith created by one original artist and then a series of copycats following. And in that case, the most pressing question becomes, who is the artist? The Prankster Art Collective, the most famous artist, has taken credit for both the Utah and California monoliths on social media. The group is even offering an authentic alien monolith for sale on its website for $45,000. But shortly after the most famous artist made its claim, Travis Kenny and his group took credit for the California monolith, posting images of them constructing the monolith to social media to prove it was them. The monoliths might be the work of an art wizard. If not, it is still fun to think about art wizardry. Have you ever discovered something weird? Let us know what was that in the comments. Thanks for watching.